Hey guys, I'm Angela, and today we have a lot of news to talk about. Total War Warhammer 3 has a new trailer featuring sieges. Paizo is unionizing. D&D is going to have a new show on G4, and Games Workshop had a bunch of previews for us to look at. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this week's hobby news. First up, G4 and Wizards of the Coast have partnered up to have a brand new show on their programming, and this is inspired by the D&D Live 2021 that just happened very recently. The show is going to consist of 4 campaigns, which are going to have celebrities, G4 talent, and D&D veterans playing them, which I don't know exactly what that means specifically. I'm assuming that might be like the DMs running it, so maybe we'll see Mercer, maybe we'll see Will Wheaton, maybe we'll see Satine Phoenix. That would
Vin Diesel!
I want to see Vin Diesel. He's one of the celebrity guests that I also think should be on there, but he is a veteran player, so that would be amazing. But there's one person that definitively better be on this show, or I'm going to just like have to completely write it off completely because he's a veteran player. He is a celebrity, and he works for G4. So if Austin Creed, aka Xavier Woods, is not on this show, I will be surprised. Like, I assume he will definitely be on it because like he checks all of their boxes, but I'm really looking forward to it. You know who else I'd want to see on it though? I want to see Brandon Cutler. Like, he also checks a lot of the boxes except for being an employee of G4.
The forbidden door would never allow it.
Ah, come on, let it happen. It would be so cool. Plus, I want to see Brandon play. He also has critter cred because he has cosplayed and worked with Critical Role in the past, which also actually might keep him out of it, I suppose. However, I think it would be really cool. This show is going to be premiering this fall. You can find it wherever G4 is available, but you can also watch it on their Twitch, which is probably how I'll be checking it out and hoping to see Xavier plus other celebrities. Henry Cavill would also be really cool to see.
Sieging a settlement should not be an easy undertaking. Total War Warhammer 3 has reworked how sieges work. With new ways of attacking as well as defending, every inch taken will cost dearly.
Next up, Total War Warhammer 3 has a new trailer out, and it features the gameplay for sieges, and I have to say, I'm really excited, you guys. So, I love Total War Warhammer 2. If you're new to the channel, welcome, hello, I love Total War Warhammer 2. But one of the biggest complaints that I have with that game is the sieges kind of suck. Every time I'm playing, if I end up going and I'm attacking a city, I always auto-resolve because I just don't care. Most of the battles and arenas are kind of boring in it. It's terrible. That is not the case for 3. In 3, the arenas are larger. They're not just gonna be like against a flat wall when you come in, you're gonna actually have like angles and like ways to attack in, which is gonna be fantastic, which I know sounds ridiculous.
What trickery of Tzeentch is
I know,
this?
I know.
Angles, you say?
Angles! But like seriously though, having that level of diversity, actually having the arenas be physically larger, which means that you can set up traps, you can put walls down, you can put artillery on walls, you can set up barricades. Basically, as a defender now, you get to really manipulate your opponent, ideally, and maneuver them around the base to basically prevent them from getting into your key points in actually taking the city, which is fantastic because it sounds like it's gonna be a lot more fun, it's gonna be a lot more engaged. Now, it does sound like it's gonna be a lot longer potentially, and potentially tougher, but I'm excited for that challenge because sieges genuinely suck in Total War Warhammer 2, and I'm so looking forward to seeing what they're gonna do with the new sieges. All the footage that we've seen thus far looks very promising. However, there's one thing in the video that I want to call out that I'm a little like artistically going, what were you thinking? So there's a point where they show some like blue horrors going up a ladder, and I am so disappointed that the ladder is not made of some sort of Tzeentchian magic so that it looks ethereal and actually fits the theming of the freaking demons? Exactly, a fire ladder. Like, I want that theming to be appropriate. It looks like they just pulled out a standard, like, empire ladder and they're just climbing up it. If they're gonna have a ladder, it better be thematic. What I really want is I want them to climb up the wall like spiders. That would be so much more cool, and it would fit the fact that they're supposed to be terrifying monsters. But you know, that's a minor complaint. Otherwise, it honestly looks really cool and I can't wait to try it. Now we're gonna move on to a little bit more of a serious subject, because the 30+ workers at Paizo have decided to form a union. They're calling it the United Paizo Workers Union, and I think this is fantastic. Now, I don't think it's fantastic that they've had to form it, but I do think it's good that they are, because based on the conditions and stuff that they seem to be working in, with not being paid well enough, having crunch time problems, like constantly being in crunch, which is a big deal if you've like followed any video game news over the last 10 years. That's a thing in that industry. I hate seeing it in the tabletop industry, but they're forming a union to try to get things working and have better like wages and just working conditions, and I think that is fantastic. If you want to support them, I have put a link in the description below where you can find more information and everything, but I think this is great. I hope that they get everything that they're asking for and that we don't have to see more of these issues continue to be a problem. Warhammer Day is October 30th, and in celebration, Games Workshop is having 2 exclusive new miniatures that you can pick up either online or in store, well, sort of, for the fans to pick up. And honestly, they're both pretty cool. I mean, I guess if you want another Primaris Lieutenant, this one at least has a storm shield, so that's pretty rad. However, there is a vampire whose name is Vampire Lord Astra Militarum, and I think he is lovely. He completely fits in with the Dire Chasm set with all the Vampire Lords, so if you've got that, he might be a nice addition. Now, you can get both of these, like I said, for Warhammer Day. The Vampire Lord you can actually go and pick up in stores as well as order online. However, the Primaris Lieutenant is only available online. I suspect that means they might not have as many of them, or there was like some shortages, but it's kind of weird that they're not allowing you to pick that one up in stores as well. But it's a pretty cool idea, and if you're interested, you can definitely try to grab one. Hello, Imperial Citizen. This is your regular reminder to subscribe to the channel and hit the Emperor's bell for notifications. And if you're feeling particularly devout, you can join my Patreon, where you'll get exclusive unboxings, behind the scenes content, and more. Now, let's go ahead and get back to the video.
Commander, the intelligence report has arrived.
Finally. Put it on the screen.
Our position is completely overrun.
Halo.
Foxtrot and all submarines.
Out there, right?
This is evacuation code Omega 44. Ammunition. All personnel with clearance Delta or above. This is report to the nearest. Well, we need reinforcements. Copy. Final evacuation order. Planet is gone. Move!
Which system is this? What am I looking at?
All of them, sir. The entire sector.
Dan Crispin, his arrogance is called in.
This is General Order Alpha 9, Xenos threat level forlorn. Report.
I want everything you have on Sigma Ostari now!
Issue Order 827 Extremis. Activate the kill teams. I need to know what's going on in the Octarius sector.
Sticking with the Warhammer news, we've got Warzone Octarius Book 1 Rising Tide up for pre-order now, and in it, you're getting a couple of cool things, including Codex Supplement Cadian, which is going to have a bunch of new relics, warlord traits, and stratagems for Cadian players. And interestingly to me, the white shields are back, which is fantastic. Now you can upgrade your conscripts for 1 to 3 CP, depending on what size of the unit you're running, to be white shields, and then they'll have a 6-up leadership, which means they're, actually some disciplined boys. And that is always good for you when you're, trying to throw some chaff up there and maybe have them last a little bit longer.
They can also always take orders.
That's true. They also can always take orders. I almost forgot that, but that is equally important. What is also cool is another stratagem that they have, which is Cadian Stands, which I was looking at. I'm like, oh, that's actually pretty rad. For 1 CP, You can put it on one of your infantry units that's being attacked, and basically, if the attack has a damage of 1 or has a wound roll of 1 or 2, it gets ignored. And if it's only damage 1, then you actually get to add +1 AP to that unit, which is fantastic. I think it's a great little stratagem, only costs 1 CP. It's gonna be fantastic. Now, not only are the Cadians getting some supplements, but the Tyranids are getting some additional rules as well, which I'm a little upset to see. Not because I don't want the Tyranids to have rules, I absolutely do, but the fact that they are consolidating all of their current upgraded rules into this one book, so that you're realistically only having to have this one Warzone book and then the current codex, that means to me that means Tyranids aren't going to be getting a codex anytime soon. And that makes me really sad because I really want them to get one. The only hopeful thing that I have in regards to that, like the thought that I'm having about it, is maybe this means that the Tyranids are also going to get some brand new models, and maybe more significantly so than we expected. Kind of like how the Orcs have gotten a really big launch when they got their codex. That's my only hope as to why maybe we're not seeing this codex quite yet, and why they're just getting rules in this book. Because otherwise, I feel like they've been waiting for a long time. And I know there's a lot of codexes that have been waiting for a long time, but I want to see more Xeno love. Additionally, we did get to look at the index for what's going to be in the book, and it does look like the Inquisition are going to be in this one as well, which I do have a couple of painted up Inquisitor models, or models that I run as Inquisitor, and I love the idea of doing soup lists with my hobby knights, so I'm very excited to see what rules we get from that as well. I'm having a really hard time going into the next segment because Chaos Cultist just showed me a clip of 2 dinosaurs pro wrestling, and my mind is kind of blown, but it's sort of appropriate because we're going to talk about Blood Bowl next, because they're getting a brand new model for the Khorne faction, or not faction, but the Khorne team, which we had sort of seen preview their normal grouping of guys previously. Oh my god, I'm all over the place because I'm still thinking about dinosaurs. Okay, Blood Bowl. We're focusing on Blood Bowl. We're getting a Blood Spawn. He's for Khorne. I'm really excited for it because this, unlike the previous team that we saw, actually feels more like Khorne. Like, he's got a giant fist that I just imagine he's gonna take and punch your skull right out of your head so that it goes straight into the skull throne. That's exactly my image in my head. He's just going through, all the opponents' heads are getting punched out, go into the skull throne. I kind of want this model. I think he's fantastic looking, and I have to go watch that clip again about dinosaurs.
Punch their skull straight to the skull throne.
Yes. I thought of that last night, actually. All right, I looked it up. It's called Jurassic Fight Night. You should look it up. It looks amazing. But we have some toys to talk about now, because Mcfarlane Toys continues to produce some more Games Workshop product. I almost said workshop. And this time we've got a Raven Guard Primaris Assault Intercessor, which honestly looks pretty cool. In regards to their painted stuff, I really don't like them, as you guys probably know. However, I do think because of the color scheme being mostly black with the white helmet and emblem, it does work a little bit better in this particular color palette. So it's all right. They're also going to have another artist proof, which is going to have the Mega Knob with Chuda, which honestly, he looks pretty cool. And I am always going to like the artist proofs more because it means that you can actually paint them yourself and make them not look like, you know, kind of garbage. But regardless of which one you want to get, you can actually repaint the painted ones, to be fair. It's just easier to do if you get the unpainted one. But regardless of which ones you're picking up, or if you're picking them up at all, I think they're pretty rad. You can go ahead and pre-order them now. And last but certainly not least for this week's news, I just wanted to shout out Shayna Baszler's new ring gear for Queen of the Ring, because it is entirely based off the Dark Angels. She's representing the lion, and I absolutely love her for it. I adore when my nerd fandoms cross over, and Shayna is a huge Warhammer fan. She's like hugely into the Khorne, she's hugely into the Sisters of Battle, and obviously she must be hugely into the Dark Angels as well. All of those things I love. I've always really liked her. She's a former MMA fighter, current WWE superstar. She's amazing. You should go check her out if you like both pro wrestling, fighting, and Warhammer. All right, that has been it for this week in hobby news. If you missed it, make sure to go check out my newest video with Frankie, where I interview her about Hobbyfest. She is the nerd princess, and Hobbyfest is a really cool thing. So if you're interested in it and you want to learn out more information, you can check out that video. But in the meantime, I wanted to give a special thank you to my patrons for supporting us and allowing us to make content like this. You guys are awesome. I have been Angela. You have been watching Hobby Night, and I will see you guys next time for some more Warhammer news, hobby news, board games, painting videos, all of the above. Bye.